Target has tapped Shopify to help to add sellers to its third-party marketplace. Starting on Monday this week, Target said companies that work with Shopify can apply to join Target Plus, its third-party marketplace. In an interview with CNBC, Target's chief guest experience officer, Kara Sylvester, said that Shopify will help the retailer discover hot items and quickly make them available for Target's online shoppers. She also said that Target plans to put some popular items discovered through the Shopify deal on store shelves. Jeff, we're going to go to you first. Are you buying or selling this new Shopify partnership having a material impact on Target's revenue outlook?
Well, I know Chris loves this one. So let's start there. I think he thinks this is probably the best idea that they've come up with. I'm of course being sarcastic. I actually look. I think they're 5 years behind the curve.
At least.
I'm with Chris on this one. I think I don't know what adding Shopify is going to do for them. I think they have been throwing a lot of new ideas to try to get their brand earlier to the conversation we had to set off this Omni talk. I think they're struggling to get customer attachment, and they're trying to throw a bunch of spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. Look, for me, I think it's a continuation of a muddled strategy from Target, and trying to replicate others versus coming up with their own unique strategy for the marketplace that they employ today.
Jeff, where would you be directing them to focus? I'm just curious.
Look, I think, so look, I think their home furnishings and apparel side of the store, which has historically been their huge growth driver, I think they've lost a lot of the newness. I think if you even for me, having a number of experiences, they're frankly my number one retailer of choice. The breadth and the reliability across the different stores from an offering perspective it's like a different experience every Target I walk into, at least where I'm located, and it doesn't feel the same like walking into a Costco, a Walmart, a similar marketplace that you can rely on getting high quality brands. I think they have.
That's interesting.
They have had a glut of inventory, and they've been very public about what they've been trying to work through on the home furnishings and retail side of the house. And I think that's cost them a lot of what people used to love walking into a Target store in the first place to get. Right. The good news is I think they've realigned the inventory levels pretty meaningfully back to pre-COVID levels, which is I think step one. But they've got to lean into that home side and apparel side of the brand to get their core customers reattached.
Right.
And it has to be what I think of what wanted me to get into a Target store in the first place. It can't be just a bunch of trash that you're trying to liquidate.
Kelly, you're nodding. What are your thoughts on this move? What do you think, if not this, what do you think will move the needle for Target here?
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, the disconnect on this one, and Jeff, you started to mention it here, is when I think of Target and what I love about it is it's a place I go for reliable brands, reliable quality. I'm not really going there to discover new brands. Like my current home, I'm by Trader Joe's, I'm by Whole Foods. I'm like, if I want a Diet Coke, I go to Target, I know it's going to be there. So obviously food is not their only channel, but I don't see it as a space where people are thinking about going to discover small brands. So I just have a hard time seeing consumers like doing that level of discovery with them. But we can see where it goes. I would agree with Jeff. I think with them, it's getting the product right in the current format and bringing back that reliability where it's lacking today.
Chris, jump in here. I know you've got a lot of opinions.
Yeah, wow. A lot going on there. Well, with respect, I disagree with Kelly. I think, Kelly is a sample size of one. I think there's a lot of people that approach Target in a lot of different ways. And having run e-commerce when we grew the dropship side of the business, specifically on the home category, doubling the business in 2 years, taking over $1 billion. There's a lot of extra products people expect to find at Target and want to find at Target. And so, to me, the marketplace is just a further augmentation of that. And this concept, it fundamentally doesn't do anything. Shopify vendors, yeah, you can, it probably makes the integrations easier, but Target, fundamentally, there's a strategy issue here where they're not buying into the marketplace opportunity. And that's evidenced by the fact that their chief digital officer is out saying, you know, I'm really proud that we only have 1,200 vendors on our marketplace. We're the unmarketplace, like you're 7-Up of retail marketplaces. Like, if you do the math on that, and I know this, the marketplace initiative at Target's been in place since like 2018, which is 6 years ago. So you do the math, that's 200 vendors you're onboarding to your marketplace a year for a week. Amazon and Walmart probably are onboarding that many vendors a day. I don't know that for a fact, but they're definitely onboarding 1,200 vendors probably a week when you look at the numbers and the sheer scope. So like, and then suddenly you're going to have all these, you know, Shopify vendors augmenting that when most of them have probably already applied to Target's marketplace too. That's something you have to keep in perspective here. They've probably already applied and Target has not admitted them in. And marketplaces by principle shouldn't be hard to sign up for. That's another issue here. That's why they exist. So it just brings me back to, I don't think the Target leadership understands digital's place in its branding process. And the last point I'll make that I think is really alarming is, again, the first. Target was very overt saying this will be the first place, or Target will be the first retailer to put Shopify vendors into their physical stores, which I'm like, okay, big deal. Like now a Shopify vendor is going to be ready for mass distribution at Target. These are generally small scale players. They're not going to be able to do wholesale at a drop of a hat. Maybe some of them will be, some of them will be, but your good merchants could get those products anyway. You don't need this connection to make that happen. If you're a good merchant, you're bringing products into your store anyway. And generally speaking, small vendors, I've said this on the show before, small vendors are small for a reason. They're not ready for prime time. So that's my rant. Thank you for sticking with me, and close it out.
I'm going to close it out with a little, what could this be doing for Target and Target's customers? And I think it hits on the number one thing that Jeff said, which is Target is still my preferred retailer of choice. Now, I don't know that this is going to move the needle for Target corporate and their digital expansion and all the things that I think that they're really out promoting with this announcement. But I do think that it helps Shopify sellers more easily integrate into Target systems. And it provides an opportunity for Target customers to experience these Shopify sellers, to have the ability to get their 5% off with their red card, the ability to return things in store that they wouldn't have if they were just on the shop platform or they were just finding these retailers on their own. So I do think that there is potential there to find newness or to find new brands, which I agree with you, Chris, on the, like, I having worked at Target, like I know that they were out trying to find these unique brands whose values aligned with Target and trying to bring them into the ecosystem. So I do think that this provides a lot of opportunity and ease and simplicity for the Shopify sellers. I don't know that, you know, this, because it's such a small amount of people, I don't know that it's going to really like catapult the marketplace like Target needs.
Yeah, I mean, when you say it like that, and what hits me square in the face is that the Target merchants either haven't been doing their job or they haven't been allowed to do their job by the leadership. That's what this announcement means to me, and that's an important statement, I think, to think about.